I am digital and I am in the flesh. We'll talk about this in a second. So, there we are. John Mark Comer, famous spiritual director of the world now, he talks about this idea of we're being formed by someone or something. And if I'm a church and I want to think about how can I maximize the 1 hour I had out of all the hours in a week. So it's 1 hour representing out of 168. What happens in all these other hours? I can do what I can to maximize that and try to give resources and things and groups for the rest, but there's a lot of time that is used in other ways, informs people in other ways. Now this is dramatic because people aren't spending 167 hours on their phone, but a lot of things that we're being formed by is our phones, our devices. And one thing that was very helpful for me was an app called Messenger X. So there was a season in my life where I was sick, I was nauseous, I couldn't work anymore, so I was working at YouVersion at the time, and they were gracious and let me take some short-term disability. My wife back there, she was gracious too. But it was just such a hard time. There was nothing I could do to fix it. There's nothing I could do to prove myself. I had to just lay there and be with God, be with my thoughts. And I stumbled upon the Messenger X app. There was a thing in there about being in the wilderness. A story of John Bevere talking about his season in the wilderness, his wife's season in the wilderness. And it was something that God used a hard time for him that worked for a hard time for me. So God began to bring some healing in my heart. I had deep fear of man. I had borderline panic at all times, a little just anxiety at all times. And God began to bring some healing. So inner healing, physical healing, then the fear of man just kind of fades away. That's one app. So I'm Campac. I create something called faith.tools. There's a lot of apps and a lot of stories that God is using digital to reach their hearts, help them find freedom. So I've compiled a list. Think of faith.tools as an app store for Christians. But I've compiled a list, and we're at around 560 apps of vetted apps that serve the Lord, serve people, help you love God, love others, and find freedom. There's different categories. So if you're looking for an app for prayer, there's apps for that. If you're looking for an app for finding community, there's apps for that. There's a faith.tools for that. So we also have a newsletter just to showcase the hearts and the stories like that. So there was a point in season where God called me away from YouVersion, and it was kind of hard because these were my people, and I could just go to my neighbors and just joke with them, laugh with them, have fun, and then they weren't there when I was working at this new job. Where were these people? So I go searching online and finding everywhere, and they're at the corners of the internet. They're on Twitter, they're on Reddit, they're on Discord. And I start to see these things that they're creating. And to me, it excites me. I'm I want to show and showcase what you're building. I also want to help resource you in what you're doing. So I built a few apps. All these are open source. And the reason why is you create out in the open, you give people a template to work with. And you do that, then it's okay, I'll share my stuff with you. I'll share my stuff with you. And instead of it being closed-walled gardens, we are opening up and saying we can link arms, we can stand on the shoulders of giants and build better, faster, together. So I have some tools that I created under the faith.tools umbrella of helping you plan your app, helping you create your app, helping you share your app. And these are just examples of the heart behind faith.tools. So faith.tools exists to empower and connect Christians in tech to fulfill the Great Commission. And we can't do this alone, we can do this together. One more thing, this is just a fun thing. I know I'm over time. faith.tools is now on the Wise Phone too, so if you're looking for the middle of a smartphone and a dumb phone, something that's safe for you and your kids, you can get faith.tools on there and just Google Wise Phone. How you can help. You can share, go to faith.tools. I was so happy to get that domain name. You can sponsor. You can give, if you're serious and want to invest in what I'm doing, there's a studio that I want to create. There's people that I have in hand that can help in this studio. We want to resource Christians in tech, build things that we could not build alone. That's it.